Hi everyone, Charlie Briggs here. So for a long time I had thought about making a raft from a pallet with maybe recycled bottles or something like that. But then a nearby resident actually let me take this pallet from his construction site and also these bits of insulation foam. So I thought, that might make a good raft. So I'm finally getting round to the build, and I'll essentially just stuff the foam inside the pallet. I had to, it's currently the right way up, but if I show you the underneath, I had to nail in these three underneath to complete it. But as you can see, there's a nice gap in between to stick these bits of foam. I found quite good thickness sections, so this might work. Now I've got a nice long oar, so I should be able to propel this quite well using the draw sculling technique, which is what Coracle boats have traditionally used. Anyway, I'll get on with it. It's been a bit of a fun game of jigsaw Tetris, if you like, to try and find where to put the appropriate piece to best space out and squeeze everything into the different sections of the pallet. I spent a bit of time on that, but looks okay so far. These fit almost snugly, but there's a bit of a gap, so I might try and space them out perhaps with something else a little bit. But they'll be fine either way, because the plan is for me just to have them wedged in as they are and just finish by nailing down through the plank and through the foam, and hopefully that'll be enough. Coming along nicely now. Just sort of finding the last convenient smaller bits that will space out the gaps that are left. A little bit out of luck with these three pieces because they fall so short laterally on the raft there. Anyway, that's where I am. I'll see if I can finish this off. It occurred to me that when I stuff out the ends of this with foam, I'm not really going to have anywhere to conveniently grab hold of to actually pull the raft in and out of the water, so I thought paint a bit of rope would be handy. Instead of drilling holes in the wood, I don't want to risk creating more cracks and crack propagation, so I'm just going to tie around handy bits and make a loop, I think. So I got nails through key points in different sections of foam. I haven't overdone it. I think just the fact that they're wedged in as they are gives the majority of the support. The nails are just there really to keep them in place. Yeah, there's a nice long painter at the front. I guess there'll be a front end. Thinking of having this bad boy up on top as a deck, which will also add as additional buoyancy should this be completely submerged. I'm thinking if the crew are on top of the deck, that it itself is buoyant, that should help be the final buoyancy if needed. Alright, I'll get on with this tomorrow or another day soon. Alright, so day 2, and with this bright sunlight I just realised how much the silver coating of the foam reflects the light. Sometimes, whoa, it's like a mirror. It's quite blinding, but anyway, a minor point. Let's finish this off. this one's very bent. I'll see if I can fix this one. Use the ball ends to countersink the nail as much as possible. Get more pressure on the nail head. Sunk down lower now, so it's less of an obstacle to catch something on. That's better. Well done there, guys. That's every bit of foam has been nailed at least once. All of them are supported between planks, except some which are friction fit, like this one between these beams. Do have a nail as well. Not so easy to lift up now with all the foam everywhere, but you can get fingers underneath this cross plank. Just lift like that, bracing a knee against the side so it doesn't swing. It's not bad. I've still got to add the deck on top, I've just remembered. That won't add much weight though. So, I just realised something I hadn't thought about before, that is that the thickness of this deck section is thicker than the length of any nails I've got. Okay, so I spent some time sorting out some other odds and ends, added some extra buoyancy with a little block here, which is sort of at the front end, I guess, because I've got the longer painter. Plan is I'll be sitting somewhere on the front or standing, draw sculling with the oar in the front of the boat, pulling myself along. Maybe on this folding chair. So I found this deck, which is thinner than the other one, slightly larger area, which will also help for storage because the boat will be less thick. So looking pretty good. The only problem is it will want to tilt here. I've done some more figuring out of stuff, and I've decided I'll need some longer, better nails instead of constantly trying to unbend bent nails. So I'll finish this a bit later. So we're another day on, and I found longer nails which will get the decking on. I'm going to go with, I decided actually just instead of having it this way, putting it that way. So that'll be self-supporting. As you can see, I've also tested it out on the wheels and with my rickshaw pulling handles at the front. And these are the ones I now use on my boat, my dinghy. The plan is I can bring this to sit on the deck on the front like that. And this is my oar I'll use. And this Sainsbury's tub will make nice storage, and also if fixed down properly when underway, act as buoyancy at the back. So it all works out pretty well, and it rolls well too. I don't think I'll have any problems transporting this by foot. So that looks good. We've got this friendly bird here who's pretty much tame. Alright, so I'll try and get the decking on and take it from there. How's that? Yes. I've done is fatigued the metal by bending it back and forth. I'm going to try and use this as a load spreader for the nails, because it's occurred to me that, of course, foam is relatively soft, especially compared to wood. The nail head is fairly wide, but not necessarily wide enough to stop the foam pulling itself up around it, breaking away. Maybe if I nail through this, with this on top of the foam, spread the load better over the foam. I'll try that on some of the nails. Yeah, that's pretty good. A little bit sharp, but I'll sand it down, get rid of the nasty edges. I just found the stuff in the skip as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm doing this in a pretty cheap and cheerful way. I'm just using rubbish from the skip. Well, it looks like I'm pretty much there. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, unless I think of any other adjustments, this is pretty much the finished product. And next will be the test on the water. Here we go. Oh, well, okay, actually one more thing. So I just thought of another idea, that was to better support all of the decking. So we've got one piece, and the last piece is to put these blocks here, 4 points, to sort of jam everything together. So I sawed these bits up just from a bit of wood from the skip, and once they're nailed in place, yeah, they'll squeeze everything together and just add that extra bit of solid support that spreads a load quite widely over the foam. Probably better to use screws, obviously, but I got loads of these nails handy, so might as well use those. Nice and solid. So we've got those, all 4 corners.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, let's play.
Yes, very good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Some people might think I screwed up the fixtures, but I reckon I nailed it. I like my choice of main structure, but some might find it unpalatable. I think the way I attached this cord was not bad. I think my means of propulsion is really awesome. Using this trolley was a really good idea. Without it, I think moving the boat would be a drag. If I could improve the quality of this material, I would, but never mind. I've come up with a raft of other improvements. When I realized I couldn't get more of this material, I was really gutted. I should use more of this, but that would only be a pipe dream. Enough?
Yeah.
Good enough?
I think so.
Okay. Well, it's finally time for the test. All ready to go here. Made good use of bungees and ratchet strap to get the whole thing attached to the dolly underneath. And I've got this system just to help offload my shoulders a bit. I can pull on the waist a bit here. But this is the same as what the rickshaw taxi drivers use in Western Asia and what they used to do in Eastern Asia. they would just pull people around with these handles, and there'd be seats back here on the wheels, and they were taxis. So I've used the same kind of concept, and it works pretty well. So I'll go down to the river now, and this will be the test.
Going to say a few words?
Moment of truth. Whoa. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
Wow. Yeah. Not too bad. Do you mind just putting your foot on that? Nice. Oh wow. Yeah, that's good. I was expecting the water to come up to here, you know. Wow. That's surpassed all expectations. Extremely stable.
Yeah.
Extremely stable, extremely buoyant. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I think this can take 2 adults, no problem.
Yeah.
In warmer weather.
Yeah. I think that's absolute maximum.
See how easy it is to get out. Did it surpass your expectations?
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Just grab the long painter. That couldn't be any easier, could it?
No.
Gone down the river a bit now. This is about 20 minutes later, and I started off in the seat, but it's so easy just to square it away, rest the oar down, and then have some goodies in the supply box, and everything's held down well, and buoyancy's still good, so the foam's definitely non-absorbent, so really happy with that. Just drifting along slowly with the current at the moment, and heading into Guildford town. So this is the Coracle draw sculling technique, guys. I'm trying to do it while holding the camera, it's not so easy. Normally you'd have other hand about there, but I'm just resting it up against my shoulder, just bracing it, so you can do it with one hand there. As you can see, the idea is you're making a sort of figure of 8 motion through the water. So it's almost a continuous propulsive stroke, where left and right, the same side of the blade is used. The angle of attack against the liquid is simply changed on each side, and as you move it left and right, the blade will try and pop up forwards and up out of the water, so you resist that, and that's what actually pulls you along. It's not as powerful as a canoe stroke, kayak stroke, oar stroke, or stand-up paddleboard stroke, or stern sculling. However, it's super convenient, and you can propel anything like this, even a raft, as you can see. But that's the beauty of it. It's very adaptable, and you don't need to work very hard with it. You can go gently, and you make slow progress, but with not very much effort at all. So really, really nice technique, draw sculling. And if you stood up, in fact I'll try and do it now. If I stand up, just lower the oar down a bit further in the water. The angle of the blade is steeper, closer to the vertical in the water, which means there's more thrust component for pulling the boat along, so that's more efficient. But that involves standing up in order to sort of get that angle, or you could reach your hands out in front more when kneeling or sitting, either way, or move yourself further to the front of the boat. But the problem with that is that that would mean you'd dig the front of the boat in and the stern would come out, so that would create more drag. So it's all just figuring out the compromise really and refining the technique. Another thing you can do is, if you hook the top of the oar handle behind your neck and shoulder like this, you can do one-handed sculling quite easily. Just put your hand over like that, and you're using the geometry of the neck and shoulder to support the other end, so you've got 2 points of contact here, and it's a nice easy way to do one-hand sculling. And because of the shape of the pallet, it doesn't mind sort of cutting through the water at that angle. So that's pretty interesting. Good way to have a drink in one hand and scull in the other. So yeah, still discovering new techniques with this. Well, I realised that by jamming the oar in the back between my rickshaw handle and the end of the pallet plank there, I can get kind of a sculling notch, so it's a way for me to actually do sculling over the stern, which is much more powerful. I'll try and do it with one hand again. Yeah. So I'm getting some quite good thrust there. Moving quite well. So fitting a sculling notch might be a good mod for this. Oh, that's better like that, yeah. Something I'll explore in the future, I think, because that's really effective. Well, that's it. I made it to Guildford Town Centre. Successful voyage, a maiden voyage, and I'm just so surprised with how well it floats and how stable it is. It's a little bit slower through the water than I thought, just a bit, but largely huge success. I think a good addition would be to, as I said earlier, add some kind of sculling notch so I can scull over the stern with a dedicated notch point for the oar to rest in. Very pleased with that. Look forward to more voyages on this wonderful vessel. So on the way home now, and this is the rickshaw system in action close up. So I've got it G-cramped to the pallet, this sort of handle frame where there are two handles here, rickshaw style. And so yeah, normally able to, when not holding the camera, obviously have a hand either side, but it works really well. It's good for symmetry with the body when running. And this is the same system I now use on my dinghy, the boat, which I made a video about previously. So that's much improved as well. I use the same handles. Anyway, it's been a really good journey. Really happy with the boat. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.